Hi, beauties. Welcome back to Beauty and Me with Tina. I'm your host, Tina, and I have a special guest with me today. I am covering her event tomorrow, Sip, Shop, and Eat. I have the one and only Taylar. Taylar, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
having
being
me
here. Tell our guests a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So my name's Taylar. Obviously, I am 34 years old. I started Sip Shop Eat about 7 years ago, right after I had my son. I had been in the marketplace, flea market industry, selling my vintage at the time, and I really didn't like my experience as a vendor. And I decided that I wanted to create something that was more engaging and more for my millennial peers, that they would want to shop, they would shop intentionally with purpose, and it was more of an experience opposed to just shopping to shop.
Awesome. So, Taylar, you have a degree in public health, and what made you consider that field?
Well, honestly, if I'm being fully transparent, I actually wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be a performer and tour. But at the time, many of my elders thought, well, they would give me feedback like, "How are you gonna make money? Like, you like nice things. Like, how are you gonna make money?" And so my mom was a nurse. And I didn't know if I actually wanted to go straight into nursing, but I knew that if I got a degree in public health or anything health related, I would always have a job. And so that's why I got my degree in public health, because I wanted to job security.
So, yeah. That is very true. That is one job that is definitely going to always be needed.
Right.
So what made you transition from public health to entrepreneurship?
Well, I mean, in the same vein, I was unhappy. I was unhappy with my career path, and I felt like I was really unfulfilled. And I've always just wanted to do so many things in life, never really one thing. So I actually still am in public health though. So I still have a full-time job along with entrepreneurship, running Sip Shop Eat. So at this point, I have come to really love what I do. Awesome. And that just kind of just goes along with who I am, because I just love doing so many things. I hate being bored.
I
have
to keep on the go.
Not quite a full transition.
Okay, so you're still there, but you're along the way, you're helping others fulfill their dreams.
Right.
It's pretty cool. So you're helping on either end.
Yeah.
So, okay, I like that. Where did the idea of Sip, Shop, and Eat come from?
So like I said, I was in the transition. I had actually quit my job. I moved to New York for a job, and it was just completely miserable for me. My boss was a micromanager. She was so mean to me. Right when I got there, I found out I was pregnant with my second child, my son River, and I went out on maternity leave. And when I was out on leave, I was like, I'm not going back. And at the time, my husband was like, you love vintage. Why don't you get back into selling your vintage? At the time, I was selling it on Etsy. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, I'm going to start doing that more. And he was like, you should do pop-up shops, which he always told me to do. And I never really wanted to do it because I found myself very introverted, and I don't like talking, and I don't like selling and all that. So I got into it. I did the pop-up shops, relaunched my business, my vintage business, and started doing pop-up shops in New York when we were living there. And some days I would make $75. Some days I would make $500. And then some days I would make no money, and I would get, tickets, parking tickets, and I have to spend so much money to be there. And it was not always like a return on my investment. And so sitting there, I was like, you know what? I'm in the wrong end of this business. Like, I need to be the organizer, because I know, what people want to see when they come out, and I know what the vendors need. And so I wanted to create something that was more targeted for the vendors.
That's awesome. I think that is so cool. I've been watching you guys for a while. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, well, and then the show came out. I'm like, no, I got to get in contact with her. I was like, I need to talk to her. So for our viewers that's not familiar with Sip, Shop, and Eat, could you tell them more about it?
Sure. So Sip Shop Eat is a shopping experience. It's an elevated version of a flea market. That's the best way to tell it to somebody who's never heard of it before, but you're going to see and experience so much more than you would at a flea market. And very different from flea markets. The price points are not the same as flea markets. Now, I will say that we have a big range of product pricing. There's vendors that sell things from $1 to vendors that sell things to well over $200. You'll find a lot of craft vendors, a lot of curated business owners. So they are, not necessarily secondhand, but they source and curate product and then create a boutique-like experience. Awesome. So you'll find little pop-up shops all throughout. We have, at every experience, we have a tarot reader, a nail bar. We'll also have different experiences this weekend at our Atlanta event. There will be a sip and paint little section, so much food and drinks. And then one of the real key features about Sip Shop Eat is we always have a cocktail and mocktail bar, no matter where we do it, what weekend. Yeah, so it's a true experience.
I love it, love it. So Sip Shop and Eats is an amazing, and I love the whole concept. Just for all the videos, like it pops up on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And I've actually been telling other entrepreneurs that I know about it. So it provides entrepreneurs with a platform. What would you say is your favorite parts of the events?
It's definitely working with the brands and seeing their faces light up when they make their first sale. We see all kinds of brands that come through Sip Shop Eat, from actual like corporations that want to sponsor with us or create activations, to really small business owners who started their business in their living room, just like me. So we get to see people in all ranges who have never sold, or who are primarily online and maybe struggling with sales. And then they come to Sip Shop Eat and they get this very engaged shopper who is ready and willing to spend money. And they're just like, what? This person didn't haggle me. They didn't try to say that my product wasn't worth it. They just walked right up to me, handed me their credit card, and walked away with my item. And that fulfillment and seeing that on their faces and seeing their faces light up is just the most fulfilling for me.
That is awesome. That makes a big difference. Yeah. Because I have a company as well, and that first sale, just seeing that smile on a customer's face, it makes a huge, huge difference to your confidence as a business owner. So it's amazing. It's one of those, I have never seen anything like it. So for entrepreneurs to have that platform where they feel safe, and customers can actually physically touch items, is awesome.
Yeah.
So you have these amazing events in Atlanta, Brooklyn, San Francisco, Hollywood. How do you manage to balance family and business and a regular job?
It is seriously an ongoing struggle. there's no like magic bullet to it at all. But I would say that I stay very organized, and I am really, I have to set boundaries. When I first started off, I didn't care about the way I looked. I didn't care about the way I dressed. I was all about getting this business off the ground and getting it to where it's at now. And really, I have a bigger vision even for it than it is. But I learned that very quickly. Like, I started to burn out and I started to forget about myself. And so for me, it's really all about setting boundaries. I really prioritize being a mom. That's very important to me, to be a present mom, to be a part of my kids' activities, take them to school, be a part of homework. So it's really just putting all those little things in my list of priorities. And at this point, I've been doing Sip Shop Eat for 7 years. I've been at my full-time job for 5 years. And I've learned how to put everything in its bucket. And, these are my working hours. After that, I turn it off, because it really will all be there on Monday when I get back.
So true. That is so true. It is definitely a process. It's a never-ending struggle.
Yes.
But we as moms, caregivers, wives, workers, we wear so many hats, but we still have to figure out how to balance them all. And there's no book on it. There's no tell all, okay, this is what you do, because not one thing works for everybody.
Right.
So you kind of have to figure it out as you go. What would you say your take is on self-care?
Oh, self-care to me is so important now. I feel like I said before, I was always a people pleaser, growing up. I think there's something innate in us Black women, unfortunately, that we're still trying to overcome, to be caregivers. We think that that's our role.
Yes.
And so I have learned that I'm going to be with me for the rest of my life, no matter who comes and goes. I know my kids are going to grow up one day. I hope my marriage lasts as forever, and we till death do us part. But I know that there's possibility that may not happen either. And I think I learned that I have to put myself first. So for me, self-care means maintaining my skincare routine every day, maintaining a workout regimen, and doing things for me. There was a time where I was like, not buying myself stuff, not buying clothes. Like, it was like, if I didn't buy stuff, like, it has to be for the kids.
Yes.
No, and getting my nails done, like, those are like little things that are for me that I really enjoy, and they remind me that I'm important. And then I think, like, I work so hard for everyone else, for my family, for my job, for my business.
Yes.
I got to do something for me. So self-care is really important now, but it took me a long time to learn that.
I understand that. I went through that process too, so I completely understand. And you pretty much gave me, is there like a set schedule of which when you do your self-care, or you just kind of fit it in where you
Yeah, so everything I do, I try to work it into my routine. I work really best on routines, which is like a gift and a curse, because I'm really like stickler about it. But if things get off, then everything can get off. But for me, it really starts off the minute I wake up, and my self-care routine includes meditation, prayer, journaling. Like, I try to include journaling in my daily life, or at least a couple times a week, because that is a really good download for me to just journal. And then I actually have this planner I use. This by Lavender is the name of the brand. They have a really great weekly journal where they actually challenge you to set self-care goals for the week. So what are you going to do for yourself? Is it going to be getting your hair done? Is it going to be getting your nails done? Is it taking a bath? Because I love taking baths. So those are my like 3 things that I will actually put on my schedule, like, as a priority. But in my daily life, like I said, it's waking up, praying, doing yoga, meditating, and those are like every day. Get my kids ready, take them to school, come back, and then I do my workout routine. Then I do my body care and skincare routine, and that is every day. And that's that's just like, that's my time. And even just investing in quality skincare, because before I didn't care.
Yes, that's ridiculous.
Using Dove soap for my face wash, like, and then I learned, like, you know what? It's worth it. You're worth it, to get the quality things that you want.
It does, because once you take care of yourself, you can take care of everybody else.
Right.
Because if you're mad, you're gonna be mad at everyone else too.
Exactly.
So that time is very, very important. So, as a mom, entrepreneur, a woman that wears so many hats, what advice would you give other women that want to follow their dreams but don't know how to go about it? They feel selfish. They feel that they can't do it. They're having second thoughts. They're having that negative thoughts to themselves. What advice would you give them?
So I think, your relationship with yourself is so important. And I think, even before you start a business, building up your own self-worth and confidence is so, so important. And a big way that I do that is by listening to like encouraging podcasts or YouTube channels. That's how I got started in building up my own self-worth and self-care. For me, my self-care is based off of my higher power. I believe in God. I know that God loves me. I know I'm a Christian. I believe that Jesus died for me. So all those things are the foundation of my worth, my self-worth, and my self-care. And then it's also, I realized that there is one podcaster called Brini Lee. She's on like Spotify podcasts, YouTube as well. And she is a powerful speaker. She is a huge part of how I developed and cultivated my own confidence. And she hasn't put out stuff in a long time. And I wonder where she's at. I wonder what she's doing. And I mean, I hope she's taking care of herself. But having that thought process made me realize that people are depending on you to follow your dreams and they're depending on you. They need what you have, that idea that you have, that gift, that talent that you came to this earth with. People need it. So, you sitting on it is not helping anyone. It's not helping you because you don't feel fulfilled. You're wondering, you're worried, you're bored, or you feel like, oh, it's my whole life to take care of these kids or my husband, whatever it is that you're doing that's not putting yourself first. You'll feel that resentment build up over time. And then on top of that, you're not helping the people that need to be helped by you doing what you're supposed to do. So, and I have to come back to that too, especially when I get overwhelmed and I have, customers who don't appreciate me or whatever, or not necessarily me, but the organization. I have to go back to, this is my path. I have a bigger picture. I have to remember all those stories of the entrepreneurs who felt breakthrough when they did Zip Shop Eat and who felt confident and all those first sales, those smiles that I see, I have to remember that, like, this is my why. This is why I'm doing it. And then for me, another big motivation for me is actually leaving my kids with something, whether that's a business or whether that's an inheritance. That's a really big goal for me. So I have to keep that going so that I can do that for them. And I think that's another good motivation that women can lean on. And I would say to that negative self-talk, because I've definitely battled with that. And every now and again, I still do. I would just say that that is not the voice that loves you. Like, you have to think about your hater, you know, are you going to listen to your hater? Are you going to let them win? All that negative self-talk is your hater talking to you. Like, don't feed into that. The person, the light, the love, that's who you really are. And even if, you know, you're not seeing it break through at that moment, you have to like keep the faith. That's a huge part of being a successful entrepreneur, and just keeping your mind pure.
That is so true. If you don't have any haters, I won't say you're not doing something right, but people hate because they envy what you do, what you got, or just you in general. It just be your aura that they envy. So before we leave, how can our audience get in contact with you, apply for Sip Shop and Eat? How can they get involved, sponsor? Where can they contact you?
So sipshopeat.com is where everything starts. We have contact forms on there if you have a concept that is not necessarily something that we just offer in a package. We do have a vendor application. It's at sipshopeat.com/application. That's primarily for vendors who want to sell or have some sort of activation at the event. We also have a partnerships manager. So we have a form on our website. It's sipshopeat.com/sponsors if that's something you're interested in. And I would say that our Instagram is a really great resource as well. So if you just go to our Instagram and you click on the link that's there, it'll take you to our top links that most people come to our website for. They're all in one place, and you can just click around. Or even if you just want to come to the experience, you can find tickets on sale right now for all of our events.
Awesome. So beauties, all the information will be on our Instagram, our network page, and on the show, of course. And I will be covering tomorrow's and Sunday's events. I'm just sharing everything with you guys. And when we get back, I have a special laid up for you guys. So stay tuned, beauties. We'll be right back.
Ladies, mark your calendars for an event like no other, Pearls and Pumps. High Tea is coming to Athens on Sunday, June 30th, 2024, at the exquisite 1051 Baxter venue. Join us for an afternoon of elegance, empowerment, and connection as we celebrate the achievements of women. Indulge in a delightful spread of scrumptious food, delicious teas, and our lineup of inspirational speakers. Don't miss out on this unforgettable event. Get your tickets now for Pearls and Pumps High Tea Athens. Dress your best in pearls and pumps. Visit our website to reserve your spot today. See you there.
Come on.
Hey everybody, I'm here, Content Creation Day with Kenya Powell, and I'm hoping to get some footage of her. This right now is the podcast room that I'm in. I'm not actually recording right now, but I'm in the podcast room. So I'm hoping to get some footage of Kenya and her models doing the work in this Loving Me Style session. I wanted to highlight Kenya Powell because she has been consistent throughout the whole pandemic, and she has been consistent in her co-creations boutique, co-creations content day, co-creations drinks, co-creations lip gloss. I mean, this woman is out here. She's a boss and she's doing her thing. So I'm gonna take as many pictures as I can and get as much footage as I can. And we'll talk about how important it is to put in the work. When you're loving yourself, you put in the work. See you soon.
Next Sunday, Beauty and Me with Tina takes you on an unforgettable journey through the Sip Shop Eat Atlanta event. Join Tina as she brings you exclusive coverage of Sip Shop Eat, where the essence of community and creativity converge. From local artisans to passionate entrepreneurs, Tina dives deep into the heart of Sip Shop Eat, uncovering the stories behind the businesses and the dreams that drive them forward. Don't miss out on this captivating journey of discovery and inspiration. Tune in next Sunday to Beauty and Me with Tina, where every story reveals the beauty within